Hey guys, it's date night.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go see
The Strangers 2.
Pray at Night.
Electric Boogaloo.
I'm really excited about this. I like the original Strangers.
I thought it had room to grow, and from what I've seen in the previews, it looks like this movie might do so.
And I like that this movie looks 80s freaking-tastic, because you know I love my 80s.
Hell yeah.
So,
80s born.
this is gonna be fun. We will see you after the movie for a brief review and our initial thoughts. I'm Gory Movie.
I'm Danny Nightmare.
And we're Horror Addicts.
And we just saw The Strangers
Pray at Night.
Alright, I was a little worried. I know the first one is loved by most people, and I do think it's a good movie, but it frustrates the crap out of me, and I have a hard time watching it because I just can't stand protagonists who don't fight back and have really no spine and just stand there and let bad things happen to them. Halfway through this movie, I thought it was going to be the same thing. No.
It's incredibly frustrating because there are parts where you're just like, oh my god, fight back, do something. But then you have to remember that in a real life situation, it's not everybody's first instinct to fight back. People freeze up, people get scared, and the arc that the characters take in this is really powerful because they go from being people who are preyed upon and people who are running their lives to people who finally find it within themselves to fight back.
Gave me that closure that I was looking for. I like this a lot more than the first one, and I'm kind of hoping maybe there'll be even a third one.
Speaking of the first one, I remember hearing a rumor that Liv Tyler was going to be in this. I'm going to tell you guys right now, she's not in it. I don't see any connection with the exception of the villains in this to the other Strangers. So, yeah. And the other thing I thought too is I thought that this was going to be set in the 80s just because the trailer had like the Tiffany song, and there are a ton of awesome 80s songs in this movie, but it's not. I mean, they've got modern day cell phones.
As the movie started, I was like, I'm not a car expert, but some of these cars look a little too modern, but then they're like, yeah, they have cell phones. I'm like, all right, it's not in the 80s at all then.
But then once you realize that it's modern day, you can kind of just relax and go, oh, well, you know, we live in kind of a time right now where things are being thrown back to the 80s a lot, and that's really all there is to that in the film. But it does have a lot of homages to 80s films, which I love. Not just even 80s, 80s and 70s. There's homages to the first and second Halloween movie. There is homages to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, homages to Christine, and they do it so well to the point where it's not just, remember that really cool scene in a movie, let's do the exact same thing. It's subtle, and they do their own thing with these homages.
They make it work.
And the soundtrack extends even to like the score. The score's got some really cool things going on there. There's a lot of like synth stuff. Sound design in this movie is incredible. You know, there's parts where there are people who are in shock or underwater or they're afraid, and they use sound in this movie to put you in the character's position so you feel like you are right there with them. You feel like you are experiencing what they're experiencing, and it's really impressive.
Yep, and if you enjoyed the scares and violence in the first movie, you're just going to get even more of that in this movie. So
there are some jump scares, but they are well deserved, and it's a much needed release because so much of this movie is anticipation and build up and suspense.
Yeah, it's the first one was really good with that, and the creep factor as well, but it lacked a little action in the first one. You're going to get lots of action in this one.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely. And I also like that this isn't a movie that over explains.
No.
You know, at the beginning of the movie, you kind of know that the main character, Kenzie, is being shipped off to some kind of a boarding school because she's been in trouble, but there's none of that very awkward conversation where they tell you the whole story, even though the characters would know that. It's all it feels so authentic. It feels so real.
Yeah.
And the performances are phenomenal throughout, especially Bailey Madsen. I've loved her since she was in, what was it? Don't Be Afraid of the Dark? Is that the name of it? The one with the fairies? Guillermo del Toro's movie?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. She was hilarious in Holliston.
Yeah.
She's been on R.L. Stein's, not Goosebumps, but it's another one kind of like that where it's scary stories and she had a doll. But she's done a lot of horror, and I'm just really excited to see her having this leading role, her first final girl role.
Yeah. And overall, she's just a really great little scream queen. So
yeah,
I'd like to see her in more horror movies.
She's fantastic, and she's so genuine on screen, and you feel for her. When she's in pain, you feel it. And I thought even the guy, I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who played her brother did great. The parents did great. You know, her mom's played by Christina Hendricks, so
yeah,
that was pretty cool.
And this not being an 80s movie, more props to her for, you know, rocking the Ramones and stuff, so.
Yeah, because the Ramones are cool. And fantastic kills. You know, you're expecting, I think, a lot of times in a slasher, you know, particularly when people are running around with butcher knives, that you're just going to get some stab. There's some pretty impressive gore in this.
They upped the body count. There was no members of Sunny in Philadelphia stopping by to die, sadly. I was kind of hoping maybe Mac this time, since we got Dennis last time.
Yeah.
But, oh well, it's fine.
You know, there's a pool fight scene, there's car chases.
I like that pool fight scene a lot. Yeah, they found really good creative ways to have that violence without, like, overdoing it, and it's not like a huge bloodbath by any means, but it's just that right amount.
God, and so honestly, the scariest scenes for me were the ones where it wasn't even over-the-top violence. You know, like there's scenes where, you know, a person is in a situation where they are stuck and the killer is just calmly sitting next to them or calmly sneaks up behind them. Like, they have all the time in the world. So, I mean, they are just true sociopaths in every sense of the word. They have absolutely no concern for human life, other people's or their own.
And that makes them very dangerous.
Very dangerous and very scary. But I love the lighting. Even though this is a very dark trailer park, they found very creative ways to light it. It's surprisingly got a few nice pops of color. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would say this was a successful date night.
Yeah.
So
I had a good time. Like I said, the first half of the movie you might be a little frustrated, but push on through. And I think absolutely, if you were a fan of the first one, I think you may even like this one better. I think I like this one better.
I like this one better, so.
I highly recommend it. Check out The Strangers Pray at Night.
Guys and ghouls, if you got a significant other, this is a good movie to take them to. It's Horror Addicts Date Night approved.
And this date night was sponsored by Dino Elwood, our buddy from the Late Late Horror Show, who gave us a very generous donation during the Creepy Channel Crawl and during the Oscars. So Dino, thank you for sponsoring date night. We love you. You're amazing. Check out Dino and Ted on their show. They're just doing awesome, scary stuff all the time, and nicest guys you're gonna meet.
Oh, yeah.
So check them out.
Now, if you excuse us, we're going out to dinner.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Cut.
Yeah.